Hey Mo, you guys have five road games. You're starting a string of five road games in the next seven games. Is that something that matters to you guys playing all that time on the road, or is that just something that the sports writers think about?
No, it's us. It's just like it's like another game. It's a little bit different because we're on the road and we gotta get familiar with the other arena quickly and everything like that. But I mean, we don't really think about it that much.
Mo, we had talked with Coach Capel after the game that was on Wednesday. Sorry, long week, and we had talked with him about inconsistency, and he had talked about seeing it on defense. But for you guys as a team, like y'all haven't won, you've only won back-to-back games, I think once this season. I'm curious when you get the emotional highs of winning followed up fairly quickly by losing. How does that affect a team's mindset, everything in the locker room overall?
Um, it can be irritating because when we get one win, we don't want to satisfy ourselves with that one win. Our coach JC, he always says, one win is not a winning streak. We want to kind of stack it up, stack it up. So to go from one win, we played really good, to a loss is frustrating. I think we try and focus on accepting that win, getting over it quickly, and trying to translate it to the next game to do what we have to do to make it two wins. So it can be frustrating to go from a win to a loss.
Mo, you've been a guy who's been, you've been aggressive. You've been able to, get some blocks on people. When you came out of the game, what are things that you're talking to your teammates about how you guys have to keep the composure and keep up the defensive play that Jeff Capel tries to get you guys to play consistently?
Well, when I come out the game, situations like that, foul trouble, I try to do my part by keeping energy up on the bench, talking from the bench, letting guys know where to be and everything like that. And, we had guys who pay attention on the bench come in and do their part. Dan came in and gave us some good minutes. And, that's the big thing. When guys get in foul trouble, whether it's the bigs or the guards, next guy has to step up and be ready to fill in that role. So when you're sitting out of the game, you got to keep the energy up for the team and also pay attention because you never know when your jersey's going to be called.
Mo, what's it like when you go up and you make that clean block and you just stuff somebody? What's that feeling like for you?
It's satisfying. It's satisfying, and more so, I like what it does for our team, and I like what it does for just the atmosphere in the arena. Like our team gets pumped from that, especially if we get a block and get a transition bucket, and the fans get more involved into it. So it's for me, it's more of an energy play than a stat. Really, it's more so just to give my guys just a shot of energy.
Well, what charges you guys when you guys are starting to break through good defenses? There were times against Syracuse, you guys looked a little confused trying to break the zone. Against Virginia the other night, it seemed like until like the last few minutes there was a bit of a stymie from you guys not being able to get inside and penetrate. But when you did, you saw good ball movement. You got a dunk, and there were guys that were feet. What kick starts that, and what do you guys have to do to capture more of those moments?
Starts on the defensive end. Obviously throughout the season we've had our struggles offensively, so we understand that everything on offense is going to start from defense. We string together a couple of defensive stops that can lead to a transition bucket, and then next thing you know, it gets us flowing, it gets the momentum going, and that can really help us offensively.
We had talked, excuse me, about this a little bit with Coach Capel after the game on Wednesday, but one of the points of emphasis after that game, at least as far as questions, was about John not getting the ball too much in the final 5-10 minutes. I mean, as someone out on the court, does the game plan for the team change at all in the final minutes, or is it just one of those instances where it's just within the flow of the offense and he doesn't happen to get the ball?
No, I don't think the game plan changes. Obviously we try and find him and look to give him the ball because he's our biggest offensive threat. In the last game, in that last instance, I'll take my play for example. What was going through my mind, seeing him down there, I was looking to get him the ball first, but I quickly realized he was getting denied. And instead of trying to force that pass and trying to decide to pass it back to the guard, I realized I was taking time off of the clock. So, it's hard because I feel like teams know we're trying to get the ball to him, especially in those instances when we really need a bucket when we're within 3 or 2 and everything like that. So sometimes they really try and full deny him and try and make that pass unavailable.
In that situation, Mo, when they're really guarding John down low, guys like you, the 3-point shooters, have to really step up, right?
Yeah, because that's kind of how it is. If he's killing in there, doing what he has to do, guys on the perimeter is gonna have to be able to step up and hit some shots. That way, there's a balance. If we're not hitting shots outside, and we want to get the ball into him, they're gonna sag off of us and start to guard him. But if we're both hitting shots and he's scoring, then it's gonna be hard for teams to guard us, and we'll be able to get what we want offensively.
Mo, when you guys are able to hit those outside shots, what do you say to you guys to try to get them going? It's like Will tries to get going in that. Nate took a couple shots. What is the atmosphere trying to get confidence to get other guys to hit shots? Because people are starting to see like you are a consistent 3-point shooter for the team, and you're being identified like that. But if you can be inside while other guys are hitting shots, that would open things up. What do you guys do to try to pull that out of other players?
Well, firstly, our coach doesn't tell us, to stop shooting. We'd have to identify what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. We also have to play to our strengths. We know who on the team can knock down a few shots. So I feel like it's more so just knowing what you're capable of, and then just being confident to do it. For example, take Nate. Nate is honestly the best shooter on this team. He hasn't been playing as much, but he still comes in every day with the confidence to come and take those shots. And whether he's making or missing them, that's the mindset you got to have, is just to be confident and to keep shooting those shots, because they're going to be available, and that only helps us. That helps the team free up not only space for drives and for John, but it just gives us an extra couple points that we may need.
Mo, are you the best 6'10" 3-point shooter you've seen in your lifetime?
No, I think that belongs to Kevin Durant.
Kind of building on that though, Mo. I mean, you're obviously a unique player with a unique skill set. Is there anyone who you watch who, I don't want to say that you model your game after them, but you see what they do and maybe you see a little bit of yourself in them?
Well, yeah, KD. I think he kind of Tracy McGrady. These tall 6'9", 6'10" forwards, almost guards, that can handle the ball, stretch the floor, and it kind of, I feel created that archetype. So, especially someone like KD, and then you had like Brandon Ingram, who were really thinner guys, skinnier guys, where they didn't have the physical strength to bang with people, but they figured out other ways to really excel in the game. So, those are kind of players that I would say I watched to figure out what they do, and try and take certain pieces here and there and add it to my game.
Coach Capel had coached Brandon Ingram. I think he might have recruited him too. Just toss. I mean, like, have you talked to him? Given that parallel you see, have you talked to him about him at all, and like try to get some insight into his game and sort of how he became the player he did in that year at Duke?
Yeah, I mean, when I was first, I think when I first committed, and then we had a few conversations about that. One thing he told me was that he played hard. He played hard, and he was really tough. Regardless of whether there was a guy stronger than him or whatever the case may be, he was really tough and he was really strong. And I've asked him about Kevin Durant because he's been with Kevin Durant in USA, and he told me that's another guy who just works really hard. So I feel like that's the theme. Is regardless of size or whatever it may be, just to work hard and play hard.